How's it going, everyone? You test Archery here, aka Archery Angel. Hey, you like that? Archery Angel? Might get some like merch like that, where it's just Archery Angel. Welcome to another episode of Archery Friday, or the first episode of Archery Friday, our inaugural episode. I want to let you guys know about my arrows before we get into talk about the bows and things like that. Just to give a description on the whole plan here. Every Friday, well, not every Friday, but most Fridays, hence the name Archery Friday, we'll upload archery video. Sometimes it'll be arrow reviews, bow reviews, or just me just shooting. You just watch me shoot from just witness that. And that's about there'll be some videos where I just talk about archery as a whole, why I do archery, what got me into it, and things like that. For today's video, I want to talk about my arrows, so that way in future videos you know exactly what I'm using. I want to reference this video in every single video that I upload. That way people know exactly what arrows I'm using. I don't have to like always mention to y'all what I'm using. You'll know by watching this video. Each set I use, their size, their weight, where I got them, which is my favorite. The purpose of this is so you know the details of each arrow when I do reviews, so I don't have to mention the length and weight and bow reviews. I can just reference this video. To start things off, these are the first arrows I ever owned. They are beginner arrows from a company called Regox. I don't think they sell these anymore in this version, but they are 13-inch arrows, 400 spine with 3-inch plastic fletches. 100 grain field points, 12 arrows total, carbon shafts. I got these on Amazon, cost me about $26 at the time. Similar arrows from this company are about $30 plus, so they kind of went up in price when it comes to getting similar arrows from this company, but you can't get these arrows in particular. I feel like they kind of just like stopped selling these. These arrows were my first set that I bought with my Semic Sage. I only ever used these with my Semic, and every clip you'll see will be these arrows in action whenever I have my Semic Sage being used in my videos. For the most part, these arrows are fine. They are cheap arrows, but they are solid for beginners. That's kind of like the point when it gets across when it comes to this set of arrows is, yes, they're cheap. They feel cheap. You'll know that they're cheap by buying in them, but they feel good for beginners. I recommend these arrows for anyone who's just getting to archery using low poundage bows. These are a good set of arrows for low poundage bows. My Semic Sage is only 25 pounds, which is why only my Semic use these arrows. My other bows do not use these arrows because these arrows are too light. The only damage done to them over time, one arrow has a flesh that is slightly damaged from another arrow making contact with it, almost Robin Hooded. Another arrow has a shaft split for from once again tight groupings. When you're doing archery, especially instinctively, what you dictate accuracy by is your groupings, and sometimes you get a little too close to those groups and you damage some arrows. And these arrows, they damage some arrows that are well made. They can get grouped up pretty tightly without getting damaged. With these arrows, they got damaged from being grouped up. This happens. It's not an indictment on Regox. You want tight groups, so arrow potentially damaging each other is possible. But overall, if I had to give these arrows a score, I would say out of 1 to 10, these are a good 5. They're not bad arrows. They're good. Like, again, if you getting into archery and you're getting a low poundage bow, I do recommend these arrows. The second set of arrows you'll often see on this channel is my first set of feathered arrows, which I got off eBay for $29. eBay is a risky place to buy anything, but these are really good arrows. They are 30-inch arrows, 500 spine, 6 arrows total, carbon shaft, turkey feather fletch. You will see plenty of arrows that look like these, as they are a common arrow sold from China, and the other vendors resell them elsewhere. And these have been my most used arrows entirely. I have used them on my Semic Sage before. I use them on my Turkish horse bow, and I shot them with my Mean KUN like once just to see like how they would fly with it, just to test it out. There are one of 2 sets that are my go-to for my Turkish bow. My Turkish bow used to be my go-to bow. You see the bow that I use all the time. It was what got me into Asiatic archery and thumb draw. And when it comes to that bow, these arrows, as well as another set, are like my go-tos for that bow. It just seemed like they pair perfectly together. Again, my Turkish bow, you're gonna see a lot of videos, a lot of content of that bow. They're good arrows. They fly well. I have 2 broken nocks because the knock points of them are like a cheap plastic, so it's very easy for those to break. And that's the biggest downside to this set of arrows is they look nice, they fly well, the fletches are great, but the nocks are so cheap that they do break. I've broken 2 of those nocks. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say they're about a 6, maybe 5.5 out of 10. because of how cheap the knocks are. But again, they fly well. They're pretty good. But again, they're also, once more, low budget arrows. The next set of arrows I got from Amazon, made by Pandarus. These are 31-inch turkey feather fledging arrows with 100 grain bullet point field points. 400 spine. The points aren't glued, so they can get pretty loose. These arrows cost about $50 and are a set of 12. They're really visually appealing arrows, which is what I believe Pandarus markets. A lot of their arrows are visually nice to look at, but aren't really, you know, special otherwise. I don't use these all that often. I've shot them a couple times with each of my horse bows, but again, I really use them as they don't feel great with either bow. The last set of arrows are, you know, special custom arrows I got from Sarmat Archery and Alibo. The first of which are my Kyoto style bamboo arrows from Sarmat Archery. They are $7 per arrow. The price increases the longer you want the lengths to be. I bought 6 arrows at a total of $42, 33 inches, wooden self knocks, custom red and white 6-inch turkey feather fletches. You know, still field points. I don't remember the arrow weight for these arrows. I asked them to give me their personal recommendations for the bow that I ordered from them, which is only bow I use these arrows on. These arrows do not get used on any other bow other than my Hankyu that I also got from Sarmat. So I asked them, I said, and whatever you recommend for the Hankyu of the weight that I got it in, that's what I would want for the arrows, and that's what happened. Sarmat Archery, I cannot describe this. I can't put out there enough how great they are, especially when it comes to customer service. Amazing customer service. These arrows, by the way, 10 out of 10. These bamboo arrows are amazing. They're beautiful. They fly great. They come off the cusp of the Hankyu very well. Unfortunately, I'm not the best user of when it comes to Hankyu. I still need a lot of practice on shooting with the Hankyu. So I'm not accurate. I'm not greatly accurate with it, which I'll always say this when it comes to archery. Don't blame the tools that you're using. Sometimes it's just the user. And when it comes to me in the Hankyu, I need practice. But I'll give these arrows, again, 10 out of 10, great arrows. Well deserving of the price. $42 for 6 arrows. That's great, especially because they're bamboo, they're good quality, they're handmade. It's something that you, if you look anywhere else for these kind of arrows, it will probably cost you upwards of $60. And these are easily my second favorite set of arrows that I own. I love them. They're beautiful, well made, great arrows. Great craftsmanship from some archery. I did lose 2 of them from me just being inexperienced at you know, using the Hankyu. Breaks my heart because of how amazing these arrows are, but I did lose 2 of them. I'll be honest with you. I lost 2 arrows. Sarmat. I apologize. They're just, look, I'm learning. I'm learning with the Hankyu. It's definitely not as easy to use the Hankyu as it is to use other horse bows. Last but not least, my favorite set of arrows, and currently the ones I use with both my Kajik and my main KUN bow. These are bamboo pattern carbon shaft arrows from the one and only Alibo, which is my favorite provider of Asiatic archery supplies. Be it bows or arrows, doesn't matter. Alibo is my go-to place. These arrows are gorgeous from tip to nock. You can get a set of 6 of these for $35, which is a great price. Alibo actually sent me a set of 8. I got 2 extra arrows at no additional charge. I ordered 6. They sent me 2 extra. My arrows are 32 inches, 400 spine, 500 grain with red turkey feather fletching with screw-in points. And once more, when it came to Sarmat Archery, it came the same thing when it comes to Alibo. I asked Alibo, what would they recommend for a Kajik? They told me 500 grain, 400 spine, 32 inches. That's what I got. I can't stress enough how pleased I am with these arrows. They fly great. The chances are when you guys you know, watch guys like New Sensei or Armin Hermer, or a lot of guys who do HSC archery, they'll be using some Alibo arrows. You're bound to see them use Alibo arrows in the rotation of arrows. Those guys are way bigger than me, so they have a lot of variety in comes to arrows, but usually they'll be using some Alibo mixed in with their normal set of arrows as well. Alibo makes great products. My main KUN and my Kajik loves these, and as those bows become more used bows, they become my most used arrows. Any future bow I get from Alibo will likely use these arrows, as I also might get more bows from Alibo. These are perfect. These are I don't, there's no flaw to these arrows. I love them. You know, they're 10 out of 10, just like the ones I mentioned before from Sarmat Archery, and you know, we say the best for last. These arrows are amazing. But with all that said, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, be kind to one another. Special shout out to Alibo and Sarmat Archery. This video is not sponsored. Just want fellow archers to check them out if you're interested in Ajaxing archery or just want to buy some arrows. They are great. They are well-reputed companies who love archery. So with all that said, me boy, he takes the Archangel. I'm out.